everybody, welcome back to another one of my budgeting videos. This is going to be my first video in 2025 with a line of credit debt payoff update, and I'm very excited for it. I'm always very excited for these videos just because paying off my line of credit is my number one priority with my budget, and so anytime I get to sit down and actually track what progress has been made, it makes me very happy. Even if it is only a tiny bit of progress, it is still progress. So I have already done a video. I don't remember, I'm so sorry if I put it up in December or January, but it's about the line of credit debt payoff tracker system that I created for myself. It's simplistic, it's minimalistic, it is exactly everything that I want it to be, so I'm very happy with it and I'm very excited to finally get to start using it. Now, there are two parts to it. There's this overall page right here, and it's exactly what it shows. One sec. Sorry. So sorry about the chair. It just creaks a lot, but I keep having to stand up to make sure that I'm in the frame anytime I move the page, so I'm very sorry. But anyways, this is just an overall year at a glance kind of a page, which right now it doesn't look like it because we've only had 1 month, but it will the farther into the year that we get. So on it, I'm tracking the month, the opening balance of that month, the closing balance, the minimum monthly payment, and then the total paid off so far. And the total paid off so far, I'm not rolling it over from 2024. I'm starting fresh and just tracking the totals paid off in the year of 2025. And I got this number by minusing the closing balance from the opening balance. So that is how much I paid off towards the debt, towards the line of credit in January, which doesn't look great, right? Because I understand that like it's smaller than the minimum monthly payment, but I will explain how it all happened. Now, I also have a second part of the tracker system because this year at a glance doesn't track everything that I want to track. It's just things that I'm interested in, but it gives like a nice quick overview. So later on in the year, if I hit a day where I just don't feel like it, you know, like I'm losing my motivation, I'm not in the mood to be like constantly thinking about and dealing with the budget and the debt payoff, and I just want to go off and enjoy my summer or something like that, I can look at this and it's just a nice, quick, tidy, exactly what I've been calling it, a year at a glance, just so that I can see. Because I'm a very visual person. So when I look at this farther into the year, when there's more entries, and I can see how the opening and the closing balance and the minimum monthly payments are all getting smaller as we progress down the page, and the total paid off is getting larger as we progress down the page, because, you know, like next month, it'll be the closing balance minus from the opening balance plus this amount will be what this number is. So this number is going to keep getting bigger. These three are going to keep getting smaller. And it's just going to be a really great way for me to just, like I said, at a glance, really quickly look at it and be like, yes, okay, it's working. Everything that I'm doing, it's worth it. It's working. I'm going to need that visual at some point. I just know I am. So I'm preparing for when I start to lose my mojo for this. And then I have a section or like a part of this that I'm doing monthly, like in my actual book, my budgeting book. So, okay, so yep, see, had to stand up to make sure it was in frame, and there goes the chair. So this page, this little cutout that I've made, I have one for every month, and I'm just putting them on the expense tracker pages that are like created for every month of the book. You can see, so you know, you have like your budgeting page and your calendar. And then you go into these expense tracker pages. Now, I use these pages to actually write out my budget, but there's more of these pages than I'll ever need for writing out my budget. So on the first blank one in every month, I will be putting this. So this just has more information. Some of it is the same information from the large year at a glance, but the rest of it is just a little bit more detailed. So I have the beginning balance, but then it's showing what my payments were. So the payments are always going to coincide with paychecks. So payment number 1 for January was on the 10th, and it was the minimum monthly balance. And then payment number 2 was on the 27th, and it was $100 because it was all that I could afford. And so then I also made a line if I'm ever able to make any extra payments, which I very much hope I'll be able to, but I wasn't able to in January. And then I have my end of the month balance. I also have my minimum monthly payment there, but then I get charged 3 things to this line of credit. Now, just to clarify, I do not use this line of credit to pay for anything. So the charges that go on it are only interest. There's 2 different types, and a disability premium, but they are expensive. So the interest was $90.82. The other interest was $43.03. The disability premium was $24.25. My interest rate for the month of January was 8.9%. So the total that I paid off so far, which is the end of month balance minus out of the beginning of the month balance, is the $326.76, because that is taking into account these charges that have now gone onto my line of credit for interest and disability premium, which hurts a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, because seeing that the total that I paid off is actually it's under the minimum monthly payment. So even though I paid $484.86 towards this line of credit, the total paid off is still quite a small number. So it hurts, I'm not gonna lie, and it does also really reinforce to me why I need to be making as large a payments as possible every single paycheck onto the line of credit, so that the total paid off will be a larger amount every month, and I'll be making a larger dent in it, and I will be paying it off faster. But we do what we can with what we have, and in January that was what I had. So it just, it just is what it is, and I'm not wallowing in it, even though I'm still a little bit mad at myself for putting myself in the situation where I could only put $100. But let's not discuss that right now, because that's not this video's purpose. But yes, so this is the tracker system for paying off my line of credit that I have devised. I mean, I've only used it for a month, but so far I like it. I like that it's nice and tidy and easy to read, which is really all that I was looking for, is tracking all the information that I want to track. Now, I did toy with making one, one of those ones that has like the track, or like the little, almost like a game board, and you like color in squares as it's going along, because I mean, I do enjoy those as well. They're also very visually appealing, but I really thrive on seeing the numbers change. And so I really needed to have this part of the tracker system figured out. What I am thinking is I've paid off debt in the past, and I got a really cute milk bottle, of all things, like a glass milk bottle, sterilized it and everything, don't worry. And then I don't remember what the breakdown was anymore, but I got like these colored stones from the dollar store in colors that I thought were pretty. And for every, I don't know, say $100 was one stone. And so then I would put them into the milk bottle as I was paying off the debt. It was $10,000 worth of debt that I was paying off. So by the end of it, I have this milk bottle with these different colored stones. They're mostly blues, I think, with a couple green maybe. And then the space that was left over, I filled with some fairy lights, and I use it as like a little light in my living room. And I absolutely love it because it's pretty, and I like the look of it anyways, but also every time I look at it, it reminds me that I paid off $10,000 worth of debt, and that is a visual reminder to me that I was able to do that, and that is amazing. So I'm thinking about doing something similar for this debt. I do actually have another milk bottle. I'm toying with getting some other kind of a jar though, just to sort of like switch it up a little bit and make it so that I never get them confused. I would use different stones for the next one, but still a different bottle, I think, as well. It might even just be like a mason jar, because who doesn't like a good mason jar lit up with fairy lights and some pretty colored stones? But I haven't fully settled on exactly what I'm doing for that yet. And when I do, I want to wait until I have more than just like 3 stones to put into it, So that'll be maybe something in the middle of the year when I've got like larger numbers, hopefully, in the total paid off section. Maybe then I'll sort of finalize what I'm going to be doing for that. But instead of doing like a coloring thing, which I did, like I said, I wanted to do, but I also really value tracking all these numbers, and there's only so many different things that I want to be filling in for tracking this debt. And so I decided to focus on this because it's what works best for me. But this is the final numbers for everything for January. So it's great. I do have the minimum monthly payment not figured out. It's not like I figured it out, but the bank has informed me of it. For February, it's $378.33. So it has gone down from the $384.86, which is always nice because my rule for this, at this stage of paying off the debt, because my budget is so tight, my goal is every paycheck to pay the minimum monthly payment that month. So for January, I wanted to pay the $384.86 both paychecks, but I wasn't able to. For February, I want to pay for both paychecks the $378.33. I will do my absolute best to be able to do that. And then eventually, because like as the minimum monthly payments go down, it eases the pressure a little bit on my overall budget. So I'm not quite cutting it to the edge as much as I am, and I'm not relying on like my mom for help or assistance with paying or things like that. But eventually the minimum monthly payment will get low enough that I'll actually be paying more than what the minimum monthly payment is. But I'm not there yet. So every time it goes down, I breathe a little sigh of relief, because it means there's a little bit less stress on the tight budget that I'm working with right now. But we will figure out all of that like when it has to change, because actually the initial math that I did, sorry, now I'm just rambling, but I'm kind of thinking about this. The initial math that I did, starting with the balance of my debt being $25,000, was that every paycheck I had to pay off $372.40 to pay off the entire line of credit debt in 3 years. And so we're almost there, because February is $378 and that's $372. So we'll see what it gets down to in March. And it might be in March that I start actually bumping up and paying more than the minimum monthly payment every paycheck. It will still be dependent on what I'm actually able to afford to pay, but it's kind of just realizing that February could be the last month of doing this as just the minimum monthly payment. Well, not just, because I don't always manage it, but like that being the goal, and the goal might actually change in March to being bigger than the minimum monthly payment. Ooh, won't that be exciting? It's like a whole new era of the debt payoff journey. Maybe happening in March, but also I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, because we don't really know what's going to happen in between now and then. So for now, I'm just going to focus on this and how different my opening and closing balance are. I'm now in the 18,000s, which is so exciting, because I started really focusing on paying this off in August of 2024, and it was at 25 grand. So now having that number start at 18 is very exciting for me. Very, very exciting. So I will just keep moving on with this journey and keep doing my absolute best to be paying it off, and we will watch it succeed together, because I am determined to get this to work. Hopefully in less than 3 years though. So if you are doing any kind of like a tracking system for paying off your debt, if you're working on getting to a debt-free lifestyle, I hope that it's going really well for you. I hope January gave you a really good start for 2025 to help keep you motivated to keep going. I know on the months that are hard, that we can't make payments, that we don't make as much inroads into paying off the debt as what we wanted to, it can be a bit demoralizing, unmotivating. It can make us not want to do it, basically, because it can sometimes, at least for me, I'm not going to say for you, but for me, it can sometimes make me feel like, what's the point? Like I'm trying and I'm not getting where I want to be at the speed I want to be, and so what is the point? But there is a point. I promise there's a point. We just need to keep trying, and we will get there. So you keep doing what you need to do to be working on your debt-free journey. I will keep doing what I need to do to be working on my debt-free journey, and together we will figure this out, and we will get there. I am sure of it. So thank you so very much for watching my video. I very much appreciate it. Apologies earlier for the rambling and getting a little bit off topic, but you should know me by now, and that's just kind of what I do. I will talk to you all in the next video. Stay safe out there. Bye.